where there's an Airbnb involved, alcohol, single women, and men. That is not a combination of a woman that wants to be in a committed relationship. You're putting your
What kind of,
relationships
nah,
at
you gotta
risk.
have more self control than that. You gotta have more self control than that, because that's ridiculous. Like, because
Well,
I could be at a bar wherever I'm at. I could be in a room full of dudes, and I am still my man's wife. Like, ain't nobody coming close to me. I'm still gonna carry myself in that way. Like, it doesn't matter where I'm at or who I'm with. If my man doesn't think that, then he got some trust issues. Hello, when you speaking the truth, you cannot be concerned with how it comes off.
A woman's power is to protect her body.
Yes.
In this day and age, a man's power is to protect his pockets.
Yes.
Understand that. So I say that because there's a situation that happened,
Yeah.
right? Where she says, babe, I was on a girls' trip. We went on the yacht.
Yeah.
And everybody around, some of us had partners, some of us was married, some of us had boyfriends, and some of us didn't.
Yeah.
And there were men involved.
Okay.
And flat out, whether it was her who said it or somebody who said it, my nigga ain't going for this. So y'all either gonna have to leave or I'm gonna leave. Because my situation, we tell each other everything.
Yeah.
And I don't want nobody to take a picture. I don't want to be on somebody's story, and I'm gonna have to explain.
Yeah, period.
So one of the two is going to have to happen. If they're supplying the good time, it's nothing for the man to supply the same thing. Meaning, if they're paying for that yacht, if you're dealing with a high value, high functioning man, how much does the yacht cost? Here, that's how much it is. Eliminate that gray area, because if I find out and you don't tell me, then that's where the trouble lies.
I agree.
So for me, if that's our relationship where we throw everything out there, it's not about, in the words of Charleston White, when you're speaking the truth, you cannot care how it comes off.
Hello, when you speaking the truth, you cannot be concerned with how it comes off.
we know what girls' trips are and what happened on girls' trips. And I mean, I had to cut this girl off one time because she was a really cool chick. Um, but every time she invited me out or she invited me over, it was a whole bunch of dudes around. And I'm like, why the hell this girl always got a whole lot of dudes around? And she always invite me around. You know, my friend like you, my friend want to holler at you. Like, I probably like the first couple of months of knowing her, she probably tried to get my number to like 4 or 5 different guys that she knew. And eventually I just said, look, girl, you look, like I don't need my phone blowing up. Stop giving my number out. I don't need to holler at every guy every time you want to hang out. I don't know where you from and what's going on. I said, but I'm not that type of chick. I don't hang around a whole lot of guys. That's what you do, okay? So please don't invite me to anything if it is not at least one, two, three other women and maybe zero men around. Like I had to flat out tell her that. And then next thing you know, she wanted to fight me. But it was just like, it is chicks like that. And you do have to pump the brakes and be like, no. Because if you okay with that, you're putting yourself in a predicament. Like I'm saying, I got a boyfriend. You know I got a boyfriend. So why you keep on inviting me around these guys? So yeah, I mean that's just the reality of it. But that's just a real chick that understand again that can smell bullshit from a mile away. You know, I've had experience with women and men, so you know I can control my environment and I can control how things are gonna go. I am not no hoe. Stop inviting me to these invites. This stop telling me I got a number to give because I'm not calling them. I don't need my phone ringing with 10 different guys. Thanks.
You said that this happens on girls' trips?
Well, I was agreeing what they were saying about when you go on girls trips. Yeah, it's gonna be some chicks there in relationships, and it's gonna be some chicks there not in relationships, and it's going to be guys around. You know, whether it's a clique of girls walking around the beach with swimsuits on, it's gonna attract some guys that single out there to come around. You're inviting that attention around when it's a whole lot of girls. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes chicks invite certain chicks around because they look good and get attention. And, you know, and that's why they invite them around. You know, and even though she's in a relationship, she the type of chick that guys come around all the time. So you just have to be mindful of all of that stuff. But yeah, on girls, for the most part, on girls' trips, it's about having fun with the girls when you're young. You know, these older raising the heck tail ones is a little bit different. But I'm just talking about girls' trips in general. I don't think you should be going on them when you're in a relationship. I don't think you should be going on them when you're married because that's just what it is. And if you're going on trips, you get married, you go on trips with married couples or other couples that have relationships where y'all environment and y'all thought process about being on vacation is about with this significant other and other relationships you can see the dynamic and not going on vacation so you can spend all this money and be like girls gone wild and you can just say that you had a blast like that's just how it
Hey,
is.
So you're
hey,
saying you're saying that if you're in a committed relationship, like a woman shouldn't go on girls trips unless it's with her man and a married couple or other women who are married.
Well, honestly, when I'm in a relationship, I'd rather be on vacation with my dude. I want to have sex. So
But you can't. But
why
how
am I
about
going to
this?
spend money?
What if it's a home? What if it's your homegirl's birthday party?
Well, I will go to it, but I'm not. It's not about to be a girls' trip. You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, my girl ain't gonna have a birth. All of my friends are in relationships are married anyway, so
I
I don't
just,
need to
I
like
just,
assume that scenario because I've been in those scenarios when I was in my 20s. And yes, it is opportunities where she had. I was in a relationship. I was engaged. I know my husband was jealous. I know he was controlling. I mean, I knew the second when I went to her bachelorette party at the Funky Buddha Lounge, and he pulled up and walked in there and made me leave because I was a clique of girls. I knew then he's not gonna let me go out on no damn girls trip anyway. And
let
then if I'm
me
gonna be
issue.
on it, I'm gonna be wanting to talk to him the whole time. So it's like it's a mind
Yeah,
process.
I just feel like if he wants you to go on a girls trip, then what's the difference in him thinking you could do the same thing on the weekend? That in like the suburbs, like that, like how I carry myself is gonna be the same whether I'm in Chicago, whether I'm in Aruba, whether I'm wherever I'm at. This is who I am. So if he has an issue with you not going on girls trips, then that would be a red flag for me.
But wouldn't it be a red flag for a woman that can't wait to go on a girl's trip, like away from her dude? Like, again, it's a thought process. If you're used to being single and you're used to running out in the streets with your girls and everything,
It's
yeah,
about
it
independence.
don't matter where you.
It's
So
about
Right.
maintaining
It
your
don't matter if
independence
you
within a
went on trips
relationship.
in your state, in the States, on a boat, it don't matter where you go, you're gonna act the same way you act accordingly. But when you have been in a relationship and when you have been married, you thinking about like, okay, like I mean, we can hang out and stuff, but I mean on my vacation, when I'm in a relationship, I wanna have sex, I wanna be on vacation. And I'm not gonna have no sex if I'm with a whole bunch of chicks and random ass guys. So I'm not gonna spend my money on that. I would spend my money with me and my girl to go my dude to go somewhere, and I hang out with y'all at the bars, and y'all come back in town or whatever. But going away where there's an Airbnb involved, alcohol, single women and men, that is not a combination of a woman that wants to be in a committed relationship. You're putting
I-
your
What kind of
relationship
nah?
at
You
risk.
gotta have more self control than that. You gotta have more self control than that because that's ridiculous. Like, because
Well,
I could be at a bar wherever I'm at. I could be in a room full of dudes, and I am still my man's wife. Like, ain't nobody coming close to me. I'm still gonna carry myself in that way. Like, it doesn't matter where I'm at or who I'm with. If my man doesn't think that, then he got some trust issues.
yeah, but Kelly, this is the thing about it. You're first and foremost, shout out to you. Good for you. You are the exception and really not the rule. A lot of people, unfortunately, do not have self control and do not have self impulse control. Like liquor gets involved, weed gets involved, drugs get involved, music is involved, a good time, etc. Let's not act that people sometimes revert to the lowest common denominator of themselves. You know what I'm saying? And it's not about that you will or that you won't. It's all about putting yourself in proximity to things that influence, said people when certain activities are happening.